All right, boys and girls, we're going to try something new today where my goal is to not only better explain with some video how to complete the assignments, but most importantly, kind of teach a little bit on the idea that we're practicing. So, Chapter 19 is going to start looking at the concept of area and perimeter. Now, area, like we've talked about, is going to be inside the rug. So, if we envision this being the rug at Community Circle, when we have our tribe meeting, we sit around the outside edge, the perimeter. Then, when it becomes the reading rug, we fill in the area. So, the area is going to be how much space is inside the border or inside the perimeter. So it's how much grass is inside the fence. So the goal for these figures is to start by counting the whole squares. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 total square units. So we're just going to double click in that box and add our answer. Then, when we have a combination of triangles and squares, always count the whole squares first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus a half gives 6.5, plus another half gives a total of 7, because this triangle is 1/2 the size of a square unit. So the triangle is going to be a half, and that'll give us a total of 7 square units. So then you have the question of which figure has the smaller area, figure 1 or figure 2, and the larger area. Then again, down here, we're going to continue looking at counting the holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 square units. Then looking at this one, start with the holes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. Plus a half is 4.5, plus a half is 5, 5.5, 6. So if we take these two halves, that makes a hole. These two halves, that makes a hole for a total of 6 square units. So even if they are not all squares, ultimately they can be moved around to reform total squares. So then we have a couple questions at the bottom. You guys have been doing a great job entering your answers. Then when we're looking independently here at the idea of an area model, so we're going to look at the 2 dimensions. So we have the left dimension of 3 and the top dimension of 6. So we have a 3 by 6 rectangular array. So that gives us the dimension of 3 times 6, which, if we have 3 chunks, what will go in each of those chunks? So we have 3 groups, 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups of 6. So we will have 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 3 groups of 6 for a total of 18 square units. Now, down here, to draw this identical shape on the square grid, we're going to go to the line tool and just click on line. And what that'll allow you to do is count the dots. So here we have this dot is the same as this corner. This dot is the same as this corner. So we go 2 jumps over, 1 jump, 2 jumps. So we're going to start here. Then we're going to go down 2 over 1. So we go over to 3, down 2, left 1. So over, down 2, left 1. And we would draw that line from here to here. Then we're going to come back to the line button, and we're going to come down and to the right 1. Come back to the line again, and then we're going to go 2 to the left. Then come all the way across the bottom, and then we'll go up 1, Now this angle is going to come all the way back to that original starting point. So from here to here, and then we get our figure. Now if you really want to, you can click and drag to get the whole thing captured. And if you want to get fancy, you can change the thickness of the line and even the color if you want, whatever you like. So it's not a skill to master the computer application, but to look at the area and do your best to create that duplicated off to the right. Then in our next problems, count the squares 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Enter your answer, etc. Then when we come down to our next page, any of these assignments where you see the star with your name is going to kind of be a mini little show off where I'm going to look specifically at this page to see that if your answer is accurate, it tells me that you were able to count the whole square units as well as the half units. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half, 8 and a half, 9. So if you enter the correct answer here, it is typically going to be an indicator that you understand the idea. So what I want you to do is watch this video. Hopefully that will guide you through not only the understanding of our basic concept of area, but also how to answer the questions in the assignment. So boys and girls, we're looking at the area inside the fence. So how much rug or grass, and if we break it into squares, it allows us to measure it. So area is a collection of square units, and it will typically be able to range back into a rectangle. So, Mr. Dudrick, your school dad, peace and love out.